Henry Thoreau grew up in the town that would be forever associated with the beginnings of the American Revolution. As determined colonists faced the King's troops across Concord's North Bridge in April of 1775. If that revolution symbolized the beginnings of political independence from the old world, from tradition, Thoreau would come to be associated with a different kind of independence, more intellectual and personal in nature. Much as Thoreau turned to others for inspiration, it was to his own conscience that he turned for the courage to think and act.
Well, that's how Thoreau feels. There's a direct line between Thoreau and the Declaration of Independence, and between Thoreau and the Declaration of Independence, there is the Constitution, which establishes a strong state and demands obedience, and there are all the institutions of government.
You can easily overestimate the effect that one person's act can have, but it's even easier to underestimate it. Most people will excuse themselves from taking risks or costs like that on the ground that it can't possibly affect anything. And the fact is, it can.
In some situations, all that it takes is for one individual to say, this is enough. We have to stop it. We can't take it anymore. And link up with others.
It's very, very important for us to take action at the local level. Because sometimes when we think of the global problems, we get disempowered. But when we take action at the local level, we are empowered.
If people were to kind of go against the cultural norm and take a step forward and say, I'm daring to be different.
If breaking a law, for me, was the moral, ethical thing to do, I would do it and suffer the consequences. This is where I can look at Martin Luther King's letter from the Birmingham jail. Here's the man who said, yeah, I can't follow this law, and I know I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to do it.
This issue of the individual and state is a philosophical question that we find running all through American history. I mean, in between Plato and Thoreau, we have just about every political philosopher dealing exactly with that question.
People have to seize the moment that they find themselves in. And sometimes that means following the beat of your own drum and being different than those around you.
I love it. That's what I live by. You know, I live every day by day. You're supposed to. Ain't no other way. You only live once.
People don't want to do that. Most people are troubled by somebody who does something, even if that somebody does not exhort them to do it. And Thoreau was not exhorting other people to do what he was doing. He was just saying, this is what I'm doing. You are free to do what you do.
Thoreau's own influence was extremely strong on Gandhi. So Thoreau played a major role in the independence of India. And Gandhi, in turn, liberated a continent with a minimum of bloodshed. In fact, as Gandhi put it, the violence was on his followers, not on their adversaries.
In a certain sense, Thoreau is acting out the idea of the philosophers not just to interpret the world, but to change it. That is, to act. Very few philosophers have acted, but Thoreau did act. He acted on that fundamental principle of the right of the individual to disobey a government when he felt that that government was violating human rights.
Some people in society think that dissent or debate is un-American. Those people would say, when America is in a time of crisis, everyone should gather behind the leader, follow his direction, and do whatever he says, because to do otherwise would undermine his authority, and he speaks for the country. I think that's dead wrong.